Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Starting off a little slow today because technology is starting off a little slow today. Today we're talking about how to use spiritual life purpose, your business's spiritual purpose for existing and being and reason for being to supersize and grow that business. And you might think, well, my business doesn't have a spiritual component. Well, it does, whether you believe it or not. It might not be a positive spiritual component if you haven't created it yourself. It's like our own brand for our business. If we don't create it, or our personal brand, if we don't create it and set to put out in the world the messages in the way that we want, we'll be perceived by people how they perceive us, and they will create that for us. And so we want to make sure that we are putting out into the world what it is that we want to with our business. If we solve problems for a certain group of people and we do it in a positive, spiritual way, then we want to share that with people. Now, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about God or religion or anything with respect to this. I mean the essence and the soul and the spirit of your business. Every single one of our businesses have one. And it's usually the culmination of all the people that come together to create that organization to deliver solutions to people in the world, or whatever it is our business does. Now, how do you go about identifying what yours is and choosing what it is for you? Well, number one, if you want to make the world a better place, let people know that your business and your solutions are here to make their lives better, solve problems for them, and make the world a better place. Because guess what? If you solve any problem for anybody, you're making the world a better place. If you're setting the example of being an ethical, moral, values-based business, that sets the example for other people as well, which is part of your spiritual purpose, if you so choose for it to be. There are a lot of businesses that choose to be unethical, right? And not set a good example for the world. And I would recommend that they don't share that with the rest of the world, but they tend to. So today, as part of the Be a Better You annual challenge, we're thinking about our life purpose, but the spiritual aspect of our life purpose. And I shared the story of my sudden cardiac arrest. And prior to that, I had always been kind of searching and feeling, like I missed out on the gifts of some amazing talent that I could have blown into my life and made my life a certain way, as like I thought it should be, right? How many of us have ever lived in that? I thought it should be this way. And then find ourselves frustrated because the actual real life, what's going on in our life, isn't like we thought it should or imagined it would be. I think we all have times where we find ourselves looking and reflecting and saying, okay, well, I made that decision back 5 years ago, and this is a result of that decision because I went down that road and I chose this. But every opportunity I had to change that decision and make a different choice, I said no to. And so now here I am. And we often, in using the SOAP framework and other things, look at, okay, what's my current situation? Well, is that what I really want? And if that's different, now I have some momentum, or maybe I don't have momentum yet, but I at least have the desire for the thing that I want because I'm looking at it. And a lot of times we're just going through our life and running through our life, and we're not even considering where we are right now and where we want to be. We just feel this tension inside that tells us something's off, something's not right. Or we're upset or angry or treating people in ways that we don't think that we should be treating them. And we're doing things and making decisions that don't feel right to us. Well, that means we're out of alignment. We need to figure out a way to get back on track. And part of how to do that is to identify what is our life purpose? What is our reason for being? And out of my sudden cardiac arrest, I obviously had a sudden cardiac arrest for a lot of reasons, which I didn't understand at the time. But hindsight being 2020, I spent literally years unraveling and trying to understand what the heck had happened and where I went wrong, yada, yada, yada. Because you're really not supposed to just drop dead when your kids are young and there's a whole lot left to do in the world. So that's where I really got and started to go woo-woo deep on why are we here, asking those big life questions. And sometimes we're ready to do that, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're just in the midst of trying to survive and create a living for ourselves and those we love and care about. And other times we can be more reflective. I would invite you to build some down and reflective time into your life on a daily basis, starting right now. The more we actually give ourselves, even if it's just a minute here and a minute there, to breathe and think and feel, the better results we're going to get in every area and aspect of our life. So I did a bunch of work and I figured out, and I kept getting this message, who knows where from, some spiritual being, a higher power than me, that said, just be you, be loving, love being, be you. And that became my mantra and my motto, and it has been for a long time. Our purpose, my purpose, and now I believe it's a lot more people's purpose than just mine. I think it's almost a universal purpose, is to be ourselves and be the best possible version as a human being as we can. And we're human, so we're going to make mistakes, but we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, and we do better and continually improve throughout the course of our life. And if I'm doing that, I feel like I'm going in the right direction no matter what decisions and choices I make. But that also has helped me to make decisions and choices that do make sense and are right for me and feel right for me and for my businesses. I used to be involved in a lot of different industries and businesses. They were great businesses. They made a ton of money, but they didn't feel right to me. They didn't feel, we were working with people that were really hurting, and we were helping them, but we weren't solving all of their problems, right? We were only helping them with one little area of their life. And usually what had gotten them into that problem wasn't getting solved by our solution. And that didn't feel right to me. It rubbed me the wrong way. And so I ended up getting out of that industry. And I've been in a couple of industries like that. After a couple, I learned, I'm like, no, if the industry and what we're doing and the problems we're solving doesn't feel positive and good and like it's making the world a better place to me, I'm not going to do it because it's heavy. So I think it's probably why I would never have studied and become a psychiatrist or a shrink. I tend to take on other people's stuff, and that doesn't make the world a better place if I'm taking on their negative things, right? All right, so what are we doing today? As an action item, we're thinking about what is the spiritual, I'm going to say business purpose of your business that you want to supersize and grow. Can you identify that? Can you write it down in just a sentence or maybe a paragraph? If you want me to help you with that, just send it to me and ask, hey, what do you think of this? Or can I get some feedback on this? Otherwise, if you're brave, share what yours is in the comments below. And guess what? It gets you free exposure to a lot of people that otherwise might not ever see your message and your purpose. And people are attracted to what they sense our business can do for them and what feels good to them. So if it feels good to you, then you're going to be attracting the right people that it feels good for them to deal with and work with you. And that helps you to supersize and grow your business and gives you an absolute competitive advantage that other people, and I would say 99% of other businesses, aren't even considering or thinking about. And that's how you set yourself up to supersize, because you're focusing on the people that really matter for you and your business and to make the world a better place. All right, love to know your take on this. Share in the comments below. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.